And the season comes to an end. Um, Game just wrapped like a minute ago, not even actually. 24-22, and 8 of our points came in pseudo garbage time, so it wasn't a bad game. We didn't play terribly or anything like that. I am disappointed in the loss. I expected to win this game, I really did, and obviously we just didn't. But um, I'm not super crushed by anything. I think especially with what we saw tonight, there is clear evidence this is not a Super Bowl caliber team. This team is not going to win the Super Bowl. This team is not. I mean, I know weird shit does happen, but this was not a Super Bowl caliber team. So it's not like I feel like we've lost any great potential with this squad. So it still sucks to lose. It still sucks to have your season end. So where do we start with this one? Because this game, I don't want to call it a mess, but it really did not go the way that we needed it to go. We didn't. I mean, it feels like it was avoidable a little bit because let's start with the offense. It was obviously a rough game for them. They kicked a couple field goals in the first half. Um, Running game never got going. It started slow, and other than one long run by Rashad Penny, we just never got on track with the running game at all. Chris Carson did nothing. Literally 19 yards of total offense for the workhorse of our offense. So that's a very, very bad sign. Like I said, Penny had the one long run. Shout out to him. He was actually our leading rusher tonight. But other than the Carson run, I'm sorry, other than the Penny run and then like a couple runs by Wilson, it was just we had nothing going. And I got to give a shout out to the Dallas front, which I knew was good for. I don't want to say they completely dominated us, but it did feel like they won the battle at the line of scrimmage. And because of that, we just never were able to run the ball. So, that being said, knowing the fact that we could not run the ball for piss, it just, the way this game played out, it frustrates you a little bit, man. It just does because I know that's who we are as a team. But if you look at this at the end of the game, we had 24 rush attempts in this game and 28 dropbacks. 28 times Wilson dropped back to pass that I know of because it was the 27 attempts and the one sack. So I know it's who we are, but it felt like there was a time where we could have abandoned the run more than we did. And we didn't really abandon the run until it was too late, until we were down 2 scores with 2 minutes left. Not even 2 minutes, actually. So if I'm looking for somebody to blame on the offensive side, this is why I don't embrace the Brian Schottenheimer thing. I recognize that he did some good things this year, and I acknowledge that he'll probably be here next season because he did just enough to keep his job, but that kind of depresses me because I don't see an offense that will ever be great. I think it will be great at some things, but we had one of the worst passing attacks in the league this year. Wilson threw for 3,500 yards and started and played all 16 games. That is not something that you expect to see from a team that, plays in the modern NFL. So to me, I'm not really mad at any of the players. The offensive line let me down a little bit. They were getting bullied a little bit, but they only gave up the one sack, and that's a really good Dallas front. So I don't want to call any one person on the offensive line out. Britt had a sucky penalty. Fluker had a sucky penalty. Britt and Fluker both kind of whiffed on the one sack that Wilson got stuck with. And obviously the run blocking was just not there, but I'm not going to get so frustrated with them so much as I am going to put a lot of this on Mr. Schottenheimer. Felt like we had the opportunity to abandon the run much earlier than we did, and we didn't do it. And I can't shake the feeling that, given that Wilson played good in this game when he had the opportunity to throw, I mean, he was dropping dime pieces to Lockett, Dixon. The sideline fourth down play to Doug Baldwin was incredible. He was slinging the ball around the field at a high level, and if we had given him 35 attempts and taken away some of those run plays that go for like no gain, or 1 yard or losses in a lot of cases today, I can't help but feel like we would have been able to put up some points on the board. Sometimes it feels like our priority as an offense is not to score points, and that's a problem. So, yeah, one season into the Brian Schottenheimer experiment, I'm not really. I mean, I know that we're stuck with it for another year. I know he does some things well, but today was a day to let Wilson just get unleashed, and we never did it. We just didn't do it, and that makes me mad. Losing this game doesn't really make me mad because, like I said, this is not a Super Bowl caliber team anyway, and I'm real about that. So that part of it frustrates me because you're sitting at home watching, and you're watching us hand the ball to Mike Davis for a yard up the middle. We're watching us hand the ball to Chris Carson for a yard in a cloud of dust over and over and over. And you're just like, Wilson's pretty on point right now. Wilson, yeah, they're getting some pressure on him, and I understand that we don't have a super wide open passing attack, but now's the time. We don't have time to run the ball into the line for a yard every other play. So that's your offense. Shout out to Lockett, played a great game. Dixon, one of his better games as a Seahawk. Baldwin made that one incredible catch. Other than that, kind of quiet, but we know he's not 100%, so I'll take the one incredible play. Offensive line, a little disappointed, but I get it. That's a tough team to play against. Shout out to the special teams as well for not costing us this game. Janikowski made his 2 field goals, and then he missed a really, really long one that nobody should expect him to make with any regularity, and then he got hurt. So, I can't put this on him at all. We had a long kick return from Tyler Lockett that almost resulted in a field goal. We gave up one long punt return to, I can't remember the dude's name, but we gave up one long punt return. But on the whole, I can't say our special teams cost us this game. I can't say our special teams were a negative today. And we clearly have bad special teams, don't get me wrong. And I want Brian Schneider out of here for a million reasons, but I can't say they cost us this game. So let's wrap this up with a look at this defense. Okay. 24 points against this Cowboys team on the road is passable. I think they're showing the Dak run again, which obviously I'm going to get to in a minute here because it was the most important play of the game. But Zeke gashed us, which I knew he would. He had the 144-yard run, which really killed us going into the half. We had a chance to go into the half with a lead, and then they run a handoff to Zeke where he's supposed to just get the first down, and he breaks it for 44 yards. Near as I could tell, mostly because of Shaq. By the way, Shaq had a terrible game, one of his worst games as a pro. It was back to some of the stuff we saw in the middle of the season where he was really struggling. And today he struggled again. Gave up a lot of that 44-yard run. Gave up a touchdown to Gallup. It seemed like the Cowboys were going after Shaq every time they wanted to take a shot down the field, and there's nothing to say except he needs to continue to get better because Trey Flowers is a rookie playing out of position from his college days, and he did not look as lost as Shaq did out there. So if there's anybody on this defense specifically that I'm frustrated with, it is Shaq. I expected better. I know he's playing a little hurt too, but he just got beat up a little bit out there. So, like I said, they ran all over us, which I expected, and I'm at peace with. I can live with that. They have a great rushing attack. Our run defense is not that good against good teams. Against good rushing teams, we get gashed. Not surprised. Dak played pretty good, maybe a little better than I expected, but he missed some throws. I mean, I swear to God, he overthrows Gallup 3-4 times every game. I watch a lot of Cowboys games just because they get on a lot, and I swear to God they miss Gallup for big plays a few times every game, and Dak did that again today. Cooper did damage. Cooper definitely did damage on us. There's nothing else you can say to that other than he's a great player, and Shaq did not bring his big boy pants. Zeke made some plays on us in the passing game. I don't want to talk about the Alan Hearn shit. Nobody else does either. Um, all in all, the defense did not play that poorly, even though they gave up a lot on the ground. They weren't giving up a ton of points. They forced a couple field goal attempts. It was at the end of the half when we gave up that 44-yard run that gave the Cowboys life, and they turned that into 6 right before the end of the half. And, that ended up being a huge deal as this game went down. It was a couple of plays to Cooper later in this game. It was the penalties on Dallas's last offensive drive where, KJ, just tackle him after he makes the catch. Don't grab him. You can tackle him a yard short of the first down, and then we get the ball back. You don't have to grab him. And of course, Coleman just completely lost trying to cover. And of course, I got to talk about this one because, look, I'm not going to sit here and get all mad at Bobby Wagner because he's one of our best players and I have tremendous respect for him. But whoever thought it would have been Bobby who comes up lame on the game-saving tackle? He had the opportunity to hit Dak for a, 3 yards short of the first down, take him down, and they're kicking a field goal. We've got life. We've got 2 minutes and a timeout, or like 2 minutes and the 2-minute warning, actually. Drive down, have a chance to win this game or tie this game or whatever. Instead, he ducks his head, completely whiffs on the tackle. Dak runs right past him, and I think it might have been Bradley McDougald who was involved in that too. Two of our best defensive players, two guys that I trust. Bobby hasn't missed a tackle all season, and he missed one on the biggest play of the game. So I don't know what to say to that. I feel like it would be, disrespectful and kind of missing the point to get frustrated with him. But God damn it, we needed that freaking tackle on that play, and he couldn't deliver. And just the whole thing of giving up 3rd and 14, giving up a 3rd and 14 when their quarterback takes off on a draw is embarrassing. That sucked the life out of me a little bit. I blame the offense more than the defense because the offense throughout this whole game had the opportunity to unleash their quarterback who was playing well, who could sling the rock around to Lockett and Baldwin and even Dixon today. I didn't see David Moore hardly play at all today, which I don't know, maybe I get given he hasn't played well lately, but we have the players to open it up a little bit when we need to. Today, we were just wasting our time running the ball. Again, one big carry the whole freaking game. Other than that, just running into the line. But never happened. But this defense, I got to hold them accountable for that last drive where we just couldn't get off the field. We just couldn't find a stop on 3rd down, culminating in the indignity of a 3rd and 14 conversion by Dak running up the freaking middle. So, tough way to end your season, but like I said, in terms of the pure number of wins we got and where we ended our season, it has to be considered a success. 10-6 is a success. A playoff berth is a success. Going on the road and losing a tough game in Dallas, this particular Cowboys team is not a capital offense. It didn't have to happen. It didn't have to happen this way because Dallas allowed us to stay in this game. They had the opportunity to really put it on us because we kept giving them the ball back because, our offense just struggled throughout most of this game and just it just didn't happen. So there goes your season, 24-22, like I said. We played a good team. I mean, I had friends telling me that Dallas is no good. Dallas is no good. You guys are going to win easy. And I knew. I thought the Dallas defense was legit. It was their offense that made me think we could win this game. And for a lot of this game, that held true until really the last drive where we just couldn't get off the field. Sorry about that. If you guys can hear that, it's my pets. But yeah, most of my frustration tonight has to go on this offense for sticking to the run when it just wasn't working. I understand you want to stick to the run when it's doing well, when you know you have the opportunity to beat down on a team's defense and wear them out, but that just wasn't happening tonight, and we weren't having enough possessions and enough plays. So that part of it disappoints me. But Pretty good season. My frustration at this point is mostly just on the fact that I don't think Brian Schottenheimer is the guy who can make our offense great. He can make our offense really good at running the ball. He can make Solari can make our offensive line play much better than their talent actually says they probably should. But I don't think he can make this offense great. And I know he did enough this year to keep his job for at least one more season. Sometimes it feels like we're spinning our wheels a little bit with a really good quarterback, and we are not giving him the tools to be great on offense. All right. What else can you say? Just the one or two plays you got to make throughout a game. Tonight we didn't make them, especially in that fourth. Like I said, hats off to Dallas, especially their defense, especially really their front. The front of the Dallas defense was pretty phenomenal tonight. That's the one thing I really took away from today on Dallas's part. Still not totally impressed with their offense. Dak made a couple big plays down the stretch, obviously, but it's that defense, man. I don't know how much further they can get, but that's all there is to it, guys. All right. I'll make videos about the offseason, but go Hawks. Sucks, but that's the game.